What's up, freaks? I'm JAM10THY, and you're Hugh. When I was a wee child, I was obsessed with My Little Pony, and I remember sitting down with my sister while we were like playing games and stuff, and just watching it in the background, and those games went a little bit something like this.
I work all night, I work all day, and what do I get? Nothing. All I want is to sit down and have a nice cold beer and a warm dinner and a spotless house. I don't think that's too much to ask for when all I do all day is work in the mines. Mines is a synonym for the 9 to 5 office job. Well, I get half days most of the days because I'm just better.
Honey, dinner's ready. Here you go.
Finally, thank goodness. I've been waiting for too dang long. What is this? This chicken and chihuahua.
I'm sorry, sir. It won't happen again.
Ugh. The things I do for this household. Ugh. I'm out of here.
I mean, it was a bit more like
Goo goo gaga, I'm an iPad kid. Boop boop boop.
Anyways, after seeing a certain movie with, similar traits as the My Little Pony Equestria Girls, Rainbow Rocks, I decided to go back to the original movie and watch that instead. So, the movie opens with the main six, which if you don't know is Twilight Sparkle, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Applejack, and Pinkie Pie. Whew, that's a mouthful. Going to the Crystal Empire after, well, spoilers ahead, obviously, Twilight becomes an alicorn. I think at the time of the movie, it was released between seasons 4 and 5. I could be wrong. I think that's right. I will put something on the screen if I was wrong. So they walk in the castle and it's like really weird because all of the guards are the same except one, and I know that's to like differentiate, but like you could have spent like a couple of hours designing like 5 really background characters, or just like use some of the other Crystal Guard things. Like Flash Sentry does not need to be like the center and the only one in a Canterlot uniform instead of the ones in the Crystal Empire uniform. So basically, Twilight Sparkle goes into an existential crisis after she's like, guys, I don't think I really want to be a princess, you know? Being a ruler of a kingdom, that seems like too much work, you know? I just want to be in my low-life town at Ponyville, you know? With all my friends, my family. Well, my family's in Canterlot, but we don't talk about them. I just want to be a normal girl in a normal life. So, sorry about that. Twilight Sparkle tries to go to sleep, but with her new wing, she's like, guys, I need to be relatable to the audience. I need to struggle. I need to be a better me. While they're asleep, a random pony comes in from seemingly nowhere and steals her crown, replacing it with a duplicate, but only gets caught due to Spike's tail, which, like, by the way, the guard was not doing their job. Why was no one able to catch her? Because, like, you have 1 alicorn, actually, like, 4 alicorns, like, 2 Pegasi. I know you have like 2 Earth ponies, but whatever. You have a unicorn. Just like use someone's magic to pick them up and like drag them away. It's not that hard, and the movie would be a short film. Anyways, the pony escapes, and then Celestia explains to Twilight that the magical door thing is actually a portal to another dimension, which, if you couldn't tell, was a high school. Who could have guessed that in a marketable movie? Whoa. Twilight is sent on a mission to retrieve her crown because A, it's her crown, and B, the other elements of harmony won't work, and that's like apparently their only line of defense. I don't get it, but you know, it is a marketable kids movie, so I'm gonna let it be. Why did Spike go? I know that for plot purposes, it's like, oh, he doesn't want to leave Twilight alone, but if he knew the cost of, 30 moons, which I think is like 2 years. I don't know. Why would you go? Just stay with the other main five. Who needs Twilight? I know, like, friendship is magic, but all of the other traits are actual qualities of friendship. He's much better off with them instead of Twilight, who's just the wannabe friendship person, because magic isn't real. Twilight is a fake fan. Anyways, so she goes to the human school and is like, whoa, I have fingers now? That's weird. That's never happened before, which, to be fair, never did. But she goes around and is like, well, that's freaky. Spike, you're freaky. Everyone here is freaky, which, is to be expected in a high school, because at least at mine, everyone is kind of freaky. But she gets really lost through the halls and eventually stumbles across Fluttershy and Sunset Shimmer. Fluttershy has no clue who she is because, fun fact, none of the horse girls and the human horse girls know anything about each other. Once Sunset Shimmer gets really angry, everyone runs away except for Twilight, who stands up to her. Which, like, if you look in the background, there's one guy who is just there and locks himself in his locker. And once Sunset Shimmer leaves after being, like, really angry, he comes back out. Well, he opens the door. He doesn't actually come back out. He's just there. And then in the next shot, he's just gone. So I think he's just still in there. And I looked for him in the, like, crowd scenes. I didn't see him. I think he's still in that locker. I don't think he's ever coming out. So Twilight goes to Celestia, who's like the school principal, and she learns about the fall formal and that she can become the, like, princess of it, which I think is basically just like homecoming or prom king or queen, which makes sense because it is a high school movie and obviously high school equals prom. She goes to the cafeteria and talks to Fluttershy again and is like, guys, why is everyone in different groups? We should all be united. We should all be together. And Twilight, maybe it's because people have different friend groups. Did you ever think about that, huh? When Twilight meets Pinkie Pie asks, like, hey, do you have a twin sister or something that also has a pet named Spike who goes to a different school? Which, now that I think about it, is the exact same plot as the third movie, where Twilight does have a counterpart. So they were just teasing this since the first film. Sunset Shimmer threatens Twilight for, like, the third time in the movie, and she's like, yeah, whatever, dude. So Sunset sends her goons, Snips and Snails, to go take footage of Twilight during her, like, sleeping time, because she doesn't have a home due to only being there for 3 days. The next day, the main six let her know, and she's like, what? Why is that a problem? And she realizes it's basically like a diss track, but in video form about her, which isn't great. They get into an argument because everyone hates each other for doing something in the past, but they realize that Sunset Shimmer is behind all of this by sending fake texts, fake emails, whatever, which I think is illegal to, commit identity fraud. I don't know. They go ahead and talk to Rainbow Dash, who's the captain of, like, every single sports team ever. Her and Twilight do a little match of soccer, and she wins, obviously, but then decides to help her because plot. They devise a plan to unite everyone together via the cafeteria and do a little song and dance, which is really weird because imagine if, like, an actual high school did that. It would be like,
dude, what are they doing? Are you seeing that? Like, do we need to call someone?
which is, like, insane, but it works. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, Twilight, you're so cool and fancy and stuff. So she gets a lot of their votes, but Sunset Shimmer is really angry about this because she obviously wants to win. So she decides to blackmail Twilight for, like, the third or fourth time. I think it's the fourth time. And Sonic the oh, my bad. Flash Sentry comes in and saves her by being like, guys, it was clearly fake, which, why would he be digging in the trash in the first place? Did he just happen to stroll across the cutout photos? And how did Celestia not realize those were cutout photos in the first place? It was so obvious. After that happened, he asked her out to the dance, in which she was like really flustered and stuff because she realized, wait a minute, the school gym is trashed, so they're gonna delay it, but it can't be delayed because that's when she's going home. And so she runs away from him, which is valid, honestly. And he's really sad, but that doesn't really come up until the end. So, as I said earlier, the school gets trashed, so the main six come together along with the rest of the high school to fix it before the night because everyone probably had plans for the next day and they didn't want to do anything with it, So they fixed it and now the dance is on. Also, why is Sunset Shimmer in the sports closet when this happens? I know she's like trying to get away from people, but I don't think the sports closet is the best place to go because if she, helped clean up, then people would be like, oh, she's so amazing, I should still vote for her. This movie doesn't make a lot of sense. Everyone cast in their vote and then went home to change for the dance, including the main six. They do a little dress up sequence and everyone gets new outfits made by Rarity in like 2 hours, and which is like insane because how do you make 6 beautiful outfits in less than 2 hours? That's like 20 minutes per outfit. I know her cutie mark is fashion. I don't think she can make that many in, 2 hours. So before they go inside, Sonic the Hedgehog as a human over here asks Twilight, "Hey, I know you rejected me earlier, but since I'm the main love interest of the movie, I think you should give me another shot, Maybe just one more dance?" In which she responds, I mean, I never said no. Girl, you clearly said no. But I'd love to dance with you. Don't dance. Don't dance with him, Twilight. He's Sonic the Hedgehog. What's he gonna do? Run real fast? That's like his only move. The votes are tallied up and Twilight Sparkle wins, which leads Sunset to be pretty angry and therefore, kidnaps her dog and makes a trade to, set Spike free in exchange for the crown, which is a horrible deal. Spike is like the worst main character out of all of them. Let him go and get the crown back. I don't care that he's your dog or whatever. I don't like him. So that would have been a perfect excuse to get rid of him. Just let her take him and then you'll be fine. I know friendship is magic, but use magic to create another Spike. Sunset Shimmer gets the crown because Twilight makes a bad decision, but she transforms into this demon thing along with Snips and Snails, and they destroy a building or whatever and mind control all of the teenagers, which honestly, what their posture looks like is basically what teenagers' postures already look like, That's how mine looks like. Twilight and her friends basically do the whole spiel of friendship is magic and whatever, which is, they've been doing that every single season. It's not that hard to be magic is friendship. Whoa. But they defeat Sunset Shimmer and she gets transferred back and everyone is happy. I mean, except for her. Sunset Shimmer's not very happy. The main six go and do the dance and whatever, and then they eventually have to send Twilight home, and she goes back, tells everyone what happens, blah blah blah, the end. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed yapping about it, and if you want me to do more movies or TV shows or whatever, let me know. Bye!